Hello, Spooky Friends, and welcome to another episode of Storytime with the Scarish Podcast. I'm Robin Grace, and this is Adam Diaz,
Hello.
And we're here to read you some lovely homegrown horror.
All right. I'm excited for this episode. For those of you who don't know, homegrown horrors are things that you guys have sent us, or you folks have sent us, and we're super excited to get these things. These are like listener-submitted stories. You submit them a bunch of different ways, and then we have someone, my mom, check them out, make sure that the grammar and the editing is good to go, send them our way, and we get to read them live on the air for the first time, and it's a good experience for all of you. So for those of you watching on twitch.tv/scarishpodcast or youtube.com/scarish, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you watching us live. We love a little interaction, so if you want to talk in the chat, that's always a good time.
Yeah.
And if you folks out there that are listening to the podcast version of this want to send us your stories, please reach out to storytime@scarish.com. That is our email address. We always love getting your stories. You can also go to scarish.com, click contact us, and there's a form that you can fill out and just send it straight to us. A lot of you guys have been doing that. It's working very well. Pretty happy with the success rate there. If you want to join us on Facebook, go to facebook.com/scarishpodcast. Why are you smirking so much?
Because all I have is likey.
I hate that song. It's stuck in my head too. But if you likey Facebook, you can go to facebook.com/scarishpodcast, message us there. And if you want to post on the Scarish Spooky Friends group, you can for some instant feedback from the community. Also join our Discord. If you go to scarish.com, scroll down on the right-hand side, you'll see all of our links for social media. Just click the one that says Discord, and it'll take you right to our server. Tweet at us at ScarishPod. It's 280 characters, so that'll be a little bit difficult to get a story across. Or you can also message us on Instagram at Scarish Podcast. That's a lot of stuff, but we like to get through all of it so you guys know there's a million ways for you to reach out to us because so many of you like to do so. So without further ado, I think I'm going to start. I'm going to go with the first one.
Okay.
First one starts out like this. The subject is shareable story, and it starts out, Dear Robin and Adam. So not hi, just dear, which is way more formal.
Dear.
You're a dear. Shareable story in parentheses again. I'm writing again because last night was scary-ish.
All right.
It's important to know that recently I had a doorbell camera installed because of a package being stolen off my front porch. As a side note, I would like to point out, if you're one of the people that steal packages off of people's porches, you are a horrible piece of shit, and I hate you.
There's a special place in hell for you.
Cannot fucking stand people who steal shit. It's like, people work hard for the shit they get, and you know what? It's really hard for some people to afford stuff.
Yeah.
So you thinking like it's just like a grab bag on someone's porch that you can just steal a package and then open it and be like, what did I get this time?
The worst is when they steal medical supplies.
Some people get that shit. I can't fucking stand it. So this happened to this person, and they installed a doorbell camera. Personally, I love all the live videos I get of the neighborhood cats sleeping in my yard. That's hilarious.
Aww.
Last night, I had finally gotten to bed at a decent time and put on some frog chirps to help me sleep. In parentheses, I was feeling nostalgic.
I notice a lot of people do that when they sleep. They do...
I've heard of whale noises before. I've heard of water, which I
noise.
feel like will make you pee your pants.
White noise?
Yeah, white noise.
Where they just have earbuds in that have white noise?
They play white noise so you can sleep through the night.
Weird.
I have the fan. Like, that's another reason why I always have the fan on, because it provides that noise.
Maybe that's why I go to sleep pretty well, because I'm used to hearing, like, highway noise. I grew up with highway noise, so maybe that's like my white noise.
That could be. No sooner had I been asleep for 25 minutes than I hear the soft barbershop knocking pattern, which is shave and a haircut 2 bits. For those of you who don't know, it's knock, 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 knock. Those are the lyrics to that little thing. Shave and a haircut, 2 bits. Did you know that?
Yeah, you told me that like a million times.
Have I?
Yeah.
Did you know it the first time I told it to
Nope.
you? Boom, you're welcome. So I'm just reiterating that knowledge. Coming out of sleep, I wasn't even sure what I was hearing at first through the chirping, but the barbershop knock was so distinct that I was immediately startled. My boyfriend looked equally freaked out. Because the interruption was so unexpected, my brain immediately went instantly to the idea that because I knew about the black-eyed children, that there might be a couple at my front door.
You just brought this upon everyone.
I would like to point out that I didn't bring it upon anyone. I did not choose to do that topic. The listeners chose that I would do that topic.
Yeah.
So it's their fault. So blame yourselves, people. I was terrified but didn't share my superstitious fear with my boyfriend. I turned off my ambient noise and listened for anything, but didn't hear any more disruptions. Checking my phone, I saw that my doorbell camera had a notification.
Oh, no.
Well,
No.
They heard a knock, so someone was probably at the door.
No.
We checked the video, and what we saw was a pale figure walk across our yard and attempt to open the front door.
Shut
When the figure couldn't get in, he began to softly knock on the door, muttering to himself.
Oh, my God.
After a moment, the tatted Yankees fan left my home and disappeared into the darkness. Yankees fans. It wasn't the black-eyed children like I feared, but it was still scary, and it took me a long time to finally sleep again that night. In the morning, I reported it to the police and shared the video too.
Holy
Included is a
crap.
picture of the stranger that came from the direction where the train tracks are. And that is the end of the email.
Wow.
Yeah, that is a wow. So,
Oh, I hate that. I hate those types of things.
well, it's nice that you have like a doorbell camera, and I think that since they're becoming more popular, it's one of those things where it's like you feel more secure, but at the same time you're going to be aware of all the creepy stuff that happens in your lawn that you never knew about, which isn't necessarily a good thing.
There was something that happened in the news a while back out here, I think, where a woman was going around at some strange hour of the night knocking on people's doors. And
I remember that.
She was a missing person. She was a missing person, and someone caught her on their doorbell camera, and she was a missing person, and she was trying to like get someone to help her. And I don't remember what happened to her.
I don't think they found her.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact details. For those peeps of us, I don't know. For those of you folks who are watching or listening from the Vegas area, let us know if you remember how that story ended, because it was definitely super creepy.
So I'm going to read my next email here, and the subject says Marina again.
Hello, Marina again.
I'm sure her last name's not again.
I know.
Okay.
I'm saying hello again.
Friend of a friend.
I hate you so much.
Okay. I'm sure there is just a small group of people that
got that Scott Pilgrim
yes.
reference?
Or just like Metric, the actual band.
You think so?
Yeah. Anyway, so the email goes, Hiya again. I'm back with my art page and a few funny stories from my witchcraft practice and some more things about my ideologies in general. So I fully believe in the force of karma as well as nature. Karma is like a sub-nature, cause and effect. Anyways, I am definitely atheist in a sense that science is proof of nature's work and magic, natural magic. And natural magic, in my words, are the wonders of nature, like evolution, aurora borealis, the ocean. Oh, we just had that topic
2.5-month-old
recently.
email, and this gets read right after we do the topic of aurora borealis.
The past animals that walked Earth, etc. So more into my practice and what I use certain crystals, mostly amethyst, clear quartz, rose quartz, etc. I use the elements to my advantage. I do, in fact, plant sacrifice.
I was going to say, this is going to get a little creepy
I
here.
would never hurt an animal. Plants are also living beings of the earth, so I usually pick a leaf from a plant or a flower. So there was this one time when I was still going to school. I've graduated since. I suffer from anxiety, and it sucks. So being away from home or feeling uncomfortable is very intense. So I cast a spell that would help me calm down during the most rough time of my life, the beginning of my senior year. That's always the worst, where you're like, got senioritis, don't want to go, things are really, really hard.
My senior year, I had set it up because I took so many classes my sophomore and junior year, where I had some stuff I could coast through because I did not want to deal with that. Because I saw like my brother and his friends go through that. He's like 3.5 years older than me.
Yeah.
And they were just scrambling to the finish line. I'm like, no, I am coasting to the finish line. That shit will not happen to me. So, yeah, I thought I had for the first time in my life back in high school because I was just like, not doing it. Nope. So.
Well, my senior year of high school was easy peasy. But
lemon squeezy.
But school's starting to get like really stressful and really hard. But I did pass statics this
Yay.
semester, which is woo. Yeah, I worked really hard. Finally passed it. But anyway, back to the email. I chanted about whoever came near me to harm me with this leaf will pay. Holy shit.
So this isn't just to calm down. It's like threatening
like,
the elements
to
stay the fuck away from you.
If you want to fuck with me, you're going to get punished.
So this spell is called like I will cut a bitch, but you hold a leaf instead of a knife. It seems pretty intense, but I like it. I need to study this form of magic.
So it was my art class. I sat right next to the door, and over the door was a clock. There was this boy. He was a freshman, very annoying, a nuisance, distraction, blocking my education on my favorite subject. The door was open, and he threw himself up and hit the outside wall of the door. This caused the clock to almost fall on him, and it fell in front of him, now broken. So he must have been obnoxious and was just like,
I like how they put like they were interrupting. Is that how they said it? Blocking my education. That's just a really good turn of phrase. But at the same time, someone being obnoxious, apparently the spell's effect was that it had them throw themselves into a door and get hurt. So
almost get hurt.
I mean, doors hurt. I mean, I run into doors all the time, mostly when I'm mouthing off and Robin gets upset. So, just saying.
It's his fault. Shouldn't have been a nuisance.
I hate you.
I also summon rain when I really want it. Please, summon rain here.
They need you in California. I don't know if you've heard, but there's a massive drought out there. It's starting to get better, but yeah, head that way.
And in this past year, I wanted snow since where I live, we barely see snow. Bring that this way, too. Snow, come this way.
You want snow in Vegas?
I want snow, yeah.
Do you know how many accidents there will be in Las Vegas? People see a rain cloud out here, and they can't drive to save their lives. So,
but snow would be cool.
Snow would be cool if we could visit it, like on the mountain, and then come home.
Yeah, have it stick to the mountain. That'd be great. And we got a little snow this year, is how the email continues. So that was a few more things about my witchy self, and here's my Instagram account so you guys can see my shark pinup art. It's KATTY_charisma_art. You're welcome. That's how it ends.
That's from the email, the you're welcome part. You weren't saying you're welcome for reading it?
No, yeah. It says you're welcome at the bottom.
Right on.
So we'll have to check that out later.
That's a good story. I'd be careful with that magic. I've talked about some of the people that I knew that cast some spells back in the day.
Oh, and then actually killed people?
Yeah, I mean, it's not for sure 100%. They didn't like arrest them at school or anything.
Pretty big coincidence.
It is a very big coincidence, but crazy shit like that happens sometimes. Not saying that I 100% believe in that stuff, but I will say that, like, sometimes it's good to be careful. You never know exactly what you're doing. Like, what if it does work? And
Life
you're like,
is like boxed chocolates.
I hate you.
Or whatever the actual line is.
I know. I wasn't even going to correct you. I was just going to let it go. I'm just going to let you Mandela effect everyone around here. I was going to say, you better make a noise to accompany those spirit fingers because our listeners can't hear those things.
All right. So, that's the email.
Cool. So my second one starts out with a subject line of just don't hang out by abandoned houses, which is a really good advice subject line, I think. Like, it just got straight to the point. Like, don't do this dumb thing. And
That's how life should be.
What?
Life should just tell us, don't do this dumb thing.
Life should be like a box of chocolates. You never hang out in abandoned houses. You never find boxes of chocolates in abandoned houses. There's a fucking reason. And it starts out like this. Hi, Robin and Adam.
Hi.
Hello. I love the podcast, especially Storytime episodes. I'm super picky with my podcast and only listen to you guys and Stuff You Should Know on Spotify. I've never heard of Stuff You Should Know. I am a big fan and have totally accidentally adopted Robin's Porky Pig scatting thing into my own vocabulary.
Yay.
I was racking my brain for something to send you guys, but because I am mostly a cynic and only one story really stands out. When I was a kid, I would like to say, too, there's nothing wrong with being a skeptic. Cynic is different. Determining your mindset before you even know anything about it, that's being cynical, and you shouldn't do that. Like, keep at least a little bit of an open mind, but have, like, a healthy skepticism about you. You don't have to be cynical about everything. When you're that cynical person, people know they can't tell you stuff. You know what I mean? They're going to know that you will assume that they're full of shit right away. So cynicism and skepticism are two different things. Try and work skepticism
so
in there.
I must be
cynicism.
really cynical because you're always full of shit.
Fuck you. How about that? Okay, I'm going to keep going. When I was a kid in the 90s, parents still let their kids run around the neighborhood, and my mom would just whistle really loud when it was time to come home for dinner. They treated you like a pet. Sounds like they're whistling for you. What's that face? You can use words. Don't use faces anymore.
I don't know. That's just weird.
I can't imagine a whistle that loud. When I used to play outside, because I was a 90s kid too.
Did you ever have people that you knew that put like their
fingers in their mouth?
Yeah.
To whistle?
Yeah, they're like their pointer and their pinky, and they stuck it in their mouth, and it was the loudest whistle.
Pointer and pinky?
Yeah, they did like this.
Oh, no. I've seen like pointer and thumb for that whistling sound.
Where it's like...
What?
Everybody, look at this.
I hate you so much.
Okay. No, but no, yeah. To me, it was always Yeah.
I don't know how to do it, so I've seen people do it multiple ways. And then my mom has an acorn, which accomplishes the same thing. Google that. I don't know how the fuck it works. I'm pretty sure it's
I don't know
black
how
magic.
it works either.
So I'm going to get back to this.
Okay.
There was this house up the block from mine, which was abandoned ever since I can remember. It wasn't a big, scary house, but it was overgrown with plants and set a little back from the road at the dead end of the street. Of course it was at the dead end. You had to walk down a little hill to get to the front door, but there was a side porch next to it, and if you kept going down the hill, a spot below the side porch which had a door to the basement. The house was basically set into the hill. Wow, that's creepy.
That is super creepy.
So being the adventurers we were, the other kids in the neighborhood and I used to hang out underneath the porch and sometimes on it and basically claim the outside of the house as our hangout spot. No one ever... It's funny because if you think of a movie like It, like they hang out in different places, it would be like if they decided to hang out in that fucking haunted house at the end of the movie, like that was their hangout spot.
No.
It's like you're just doing it a favor. That's all I'm saying. All right. No one ever came by, in parentheses, no cars were ever there, and the doors were always locked. We tried multiple times to get in. One evening, my
didn't
friend...
try hard enough, just saying.
I don't know. I think we might get to the point where he tells us that they might have tried hard enough. One evening, my friend Lauren and I were hanging out on the porch talking about boys or something, in parentheses, nothing new there, when I felt a sudden compulsion to try the door again.
Oh my gosh, was it unlocked?
I tried the door on the porch and it was still locked,
Okay.
but we noticed that there were scratches across the glass on the inside that had
Shut
never been there before,
up. Shut
accompanied by red specks and streaks
No,
inside the
was
scratches.
it? No.
Lauren got creeped
No.
out and wanted to leave, but I wanted to try the basement door.
No,
Ooh,
dude.
wow.
If there's a body, if there's a body.
I love that you're just intent, like, I'm getting into this fucking house that apparently had a murder happen inside.
What?
We went down the porch stairs to the lower spot by the basement, and we both started getting this ominous feeling like something bad was with us there.
Just walk away.
Just walk.
Like-
What song is that? Just walk away? I don't know.
It's from Kelly Clarkson.
There you go.
Just walk away.
That's it.
Yeah.
I ignored my instincts and, heart pounding, slid open the glass door, which was unlocked for the first time ever.
No. Someone broke in. Someone murdered someone, and
Lauren-
there's going to be a body.
Maybe someone broke in, was painting it to make it look nicer, but just used red paint and accidentally like tripped a little bit and like put their fingers in the glass. They're going to get in there and be like, it's a nice house now. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of something nice that's going to happen. These kids are clearly going to get murdered and then somehow send us the email. So Lauren
Story
stayed
from the afterlife.
Lauren stayed back and was basically on the verge of tears, but I was starting to feel compelled, like I had to go inside because something was calling me. Slowly, my feet started moving.
No.
I took one step into the room, then another. It was an old living room, completely furnished with couches and a TV, and everything was covered in dust.
Oh my goodness.
It was clear
no.
no one had been there for a long time. I stood there just inside the door, frozen. Lauren later told me that she had been yelling at me, but I never heard her. Instead, what I heard, quietly at first, then growing louder, was a light, tinkling laughter,
No,
like
there
a woman
wasn't.
who had just heard a very
Shut
funny
up.
joke. As the laughter got louder, it started to sound malicious, almost cruel,
Shut up.
like the woman was laughing at someone - me. I really couldn't move now, even though every part of me was screaming to run. Just at the opposite end of the room was a dark hallway, and a woman seemed to fade into existence from it.
No.
She was very pale. I got goosebumps, cold chills, whatever they're called, and wearing a long, glittering dress, which looked like it had been covered in dust as long as the couches had. She was smiling and laughing, and her smile seemed somehow too wide. That's fucking creepy.
Yeah.
I think
Anytime facial features get distorted, like too big of eyes or too big of mouths,
there's
it freaks
clearly
me
some
out.
malevolent spirit or Julia Roberts, which is basically the same thing, living in this house.
That's fucked up.
I don't think she
I'm
listens
sorry.
to the show. I hope.
So sorry, Julia Roberts.
She started almost floating slowly towards me, though I couldn't see her feet beneath her dress. I saw her hands, and her nails were ragged, and blood was smeared around the tips of her fingers. I immediately thought of the scratches on the upstairs
No.
door. This memory seemed to wake me, and I turned and jumped out of the door, and it slammed it behind me. That's very different.
Yeah.
They slammed it. It didn't slam on its own. I took one last look back as Lauren and I started to run away and saw no one inside of the house. We ran up the hill and down the road back to Lauren's house and spent the rest of the evening staring out her front window, waiting for the woman to come floating down the street, but it never happened. We never went back to our hangout spot again. It had never been ours. So that's my story. I can't explain it and rarely even think of it, as it happened over 15 years ago. You're free to read this story on the podcast, but I hope you enjoyed it. Even if you don't, keep on keeping on. You guys are awesome. Andy.
Thank you so much for your story.
That is
so scary.
really good. And I'm not going to lie. That one creeped me out a lot, especially when you're like feeling compelled to walk through. Like, there's very few times in my life I felt like I wasn't in control of my own body. And if it was like a time that
Was it because
I was fucked up in some way, shape, or form.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's creepy to think of that feeling and knowing you haven't taken any drugs or drank anything.
Yeah.
And you're in a really, really creepy spot. So
Yeah.
I figured you were going to find a sewer grate and there's going to be a
thought there was
fucking
gonna be
clown
a
down
body.
there telling you that you all float if you just come down there. I thought that's what was going to happen. So I'm pleasantly happy that didn't happen and you didn't die.
Nice.
So thank you for sending that email to us from, real life and not beyond the grave.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go into my next email here, and it's titled "My Mother's Stories." So it's a great reminder that the stories you send in don't have to be yours. They could be your family members that they have told you, and you just reiterate to us.
Yeah, because our demographics, which I'm realizing from the Instagram statistics, which are actually quite substantial, is fairly young. It's our age group, and then the age group below us, which I think is like 18 to 24. But we don't have a lot of people that listen that are like my parents' generation. But let me tell you something. They have the best stories.
Have stories.
Yeah. So talk to your parents or your grandparents and be like, hey, do you have any ghost stories? Do you have any fucked up stories? And they're going to be like, I've seen shit you wouldn't believe. Like Ghostbusters, like, I've seen shit that'll turn you white.
Oh my God.
You don't remember that line?
No.
It's what Winston says to the mayor when they're trying to tell him, like, everything that's about to happen to the city. We got to watch Ghostbusters.
Okay.
You need to learn to quote this movie with me.
Okay.
Every single part of it.
I'm just thinking, like, if you ask one of your family members and they're like, oh, you mean the time I killed someone?
Wow.
Like, I just feel like that's a family secret.
So you found that body in the basement, huh? I guess we have to have the talk. Go get the shovels.
Oh my God. Okay, anyway, continuing on with the email. It goes, hello, Adam and Robin. Hello.
Hello.
What's up?
Nailed it. Starting out great.
What is up, guys?
Not much, just chilling.
Yeah. My name's Crystal. I'm not bilingual. I'm Spanglish, so my writing is about to be crap with a bunch of commas everywhere. So bear with me.
No worries.
It'll be fine. I really wanted to share a story with you guys that my mother told me she experienced when she was younger. Funny thing is that me and my father are similar in stories. We actively look for stories, want to hear stories, and share stories, but my mom is such a sweet lady. Oh, she keeps to herself and doesn't like scary movies.
True fact, when I met Robin, she refused to watch horror films. I was like, it was October, and I'm like, around October, I try and like watch some scary movies just because it's fun. And she was like, oh, I don't watch scary movies at all. And then I was like, well, let's watch a couple. We'll watch them together. Wink, wink. And, we'll see how it goes.
Why are you winking?
Because it's just a nice way for a guy to get a girl to like cuddle up close to him if she's like wanting to do that. And then you watch something scary and they're like, here, hold your hands in front of my face and explain the entire movie to me. And every now and then I'll peek over your hand to watch a part.
8 months after we started dating.
No, yeah, it totally was. That's very true. But yeah, she wouldn't watch scary movies up until that point. So, yeah, fun stuff. Okay. And now we're addicted to like every scary thing ever.
Yeah,
so
and
we
so
have a
now
scary podcast,
while we go through like Netflix and stuff, it's like, seen it, looks boring, looks horrible.
This was terrible. This was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mother is like the sweetest woman ever. So when she tells me stories, it's always like, what? What the hell? Tell me more. Why are you holding stories
Tell me more.
all to yourself? And then in her sweet motherly way, she's like, okay, mija.
Aww. That's funny.
I love when they say that.
Mija?
Yeah. It's so cute. And goes on with her story. My mother is super sweetheart Spanglish Tex-Mex woman. Shout out to my mom. Woo! That's what's typed.
Oh, okay.
Okay, feel free to share on the podcast. So her story goes something like this. When my mother was a little girl, this is early 60s, I think. Their house is on Mango Street, the Texas version, and her family moved into the house on Dolan Street in El Paso, Texas, Chuco Town. I wish I knew what all these places were.
I was like, these don't ring any bells for me.
She told me that her parents were in a financial bind and they were renting this house from her aunt who moved to California and let them stay there while she was gone. My mother is second youngest in family of 7 siblings, a lot of kids, and she was the only girl. That is rough.
That's rough for any guy who tries to date her. Holy shit.
Yeah.
6 brothers that you have to talk to and not get murdered by, plus a dad.
My mother told me there was always weird stuff going on at this house, but one story that I've always remembered is the story of the lady at the window. Oh, I don't like it.
It's a really good short story title.
I don't like it. Okay. My mother told me one night she had woken up in the middle of the night to go to the restroom, which was down the hall on the right, and across from it there was a window. My mother said that she was walking down the hall when she saw a figure of a woman pass by outside the window. Since most of her brothers were older than her, she thought maybe one of them was outside with a girl, and she ran to the back door to see who was out there.
Who you slutting it up out there, bro?
Oh my God. She said when she looked outside, she didn't see anyone and thought she must have missed them, and so went back to bed. The next morning at breakfast, she asked her brothers which one of them was outside that night, and they all replied that no one was up the night before.
Or would they honestly admit to that? I mean, if your parents were around especially, I'd be like, not me. Shut the hell up.
When she told them what she saw, her older brother said there's no way she could have seen someone by that window because their father had temporarily blocked it off with a fridge, and it was blocking the light and the view from coming in. She said she walked outside to look, and sure enough, the window was blocked. So how could she have seen anything?
I don't know. This is getting weird. It's getting interesting.
My
Maybe
mother...
it was inside the house, actually.
The call was coming from inside the house.
Yeah. They were trying to warn her.
My mother told me that she wasn't the only one to see a woman. That my Uncle Johnny, one afternoon while they were living there, was taking a nap in his room when he came out of the room looking pale and frightened. When they asked him what was wrong, he said he woke up from his nap and saw the figure of a woman standing next to the bed, motioning with her finger for him to come towards her.
Oh, shit.
Oh, man. My mother is 100% sure that this house was haunted by something, and while she can't remember everything that happened in the house, she remembers she couldn't wait to leave when her aunt called giving them a 2-month notice to move out because they were coming back from California.
It's like, hooray, we're homeless. That's fucking hilarious.
I will leave a few more below that my mother's told me, but feel free to break them up if it's too long. Also, as always, thanks for the great content. Like so many others, I found you on Spotify.
Shout out to Spotify.
Yes, definitely shout out to Spotify because they're awesome. And I found you while trying to find some type of scary/paranormal podcast. Y'all are the perfect combination of scary and funny, and it's so perfect. Gets me through my gym sesh or drive home. I'm a biology major, pre-med route, so I really should be listening to more informative science podcasts.
That's hilarious.
But
we try and be as sciencey as possible, but we are not scientists.
It's definitely awesome to have you all there when I need a good break from school and work. Love you guys. Keep on creeping on. And then should I read the other ones?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I might as well. So my mother used to work admin side for a police task force back home. She said she always had the inside scoop to stuff going on around town, and she knew when buildings were raided for drugs because she would have to do the paperwork for it. She also knew all the guys on the force, and they would tell her stories too. One day, the scoop wasn't the usual drug story bust. She said they'd been working on a case that led them to an abandoned building, what are the odds, in an older side of town. The guys had told her they got a tip that there were drugs being kept there, so they sent their group to check it out.
I'm really trying hard not to keep screaming. Are you a cop?
I'm not a cop!
It's just so fun to do anytime someone brings something like this up.
La 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 la. The guys had told her that they got a tip, went to check it out. When the task force got there, they said a woman in a long dress opened the door and let them in. They told her the house felt heavy and uneasy, but they continued the search. They looked upstairs and found a red room with signs of satanic worshiping or witchcraft.
Okay, there's 2 red rooms I think of nowadays. Thank you to the Snark who just subscribed. I also like to point out Miss Deezy said boo, and the Snark said love you guys. They both have subscribed 4 months in a row. Also, it appears Meadows is resubscribed, but it didn't run us the alert. So
cool.
You guys are all fantastic.
Yeah.
Getting back to my red room tangent, now that Haunting of Hill House is out, I think of that red room as just like, you know, a room of requirement. And then I also think of, obviously, I mean, everyone's thinking this when you hear red room, 50 Shades, where you go and get freaky, which if someone were to stumble into would definitely look satanic. Let's be real.
I really want to talk about the Haunting at Hill House, and I think we really need to set up like
spoiler chat.
We have a spoiler chat in the Discord, but we need to do like an
Review?
episode of the week or episode of the week where we watch an episode and then we can talk about it like our own little book club,
like little analysis.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Because the ending of the show, dude, guys, I think Carly shared an article about that show, about the ending, that I'm just like, so. Yeah, we need to do that.
It's not as happy as it seems. Is that what the thing?
No,
is that what it suggests?
That's what it suggests.
Okay, I like that. It was a very happy ending, and I was just thrown off by it.
I'll show you later.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, what?
Nothing. I winked at the camera. That's all.
Okay. Mom said that they didn't know, just some weird shit was going down in the red room. It's Christian Grey in there. The guys circled back downstairs in search of the woman who'd opened the door. When they found her, she was at the base of the stairs, and they wanted to ask her questions. She told them she would answer the questions upstairs. As she started going up the stairs, the guys said they noticed something weird about her. She was floating up the stairs.
I was going to say, she's either floating or they could fucking see through her.
So she was floating up the stairs, and when my mom asked what they did after that, they told her they were creeped out and just left.
We burned the house down.
They said whatever was in the house could keep the drugs. They weren't trying to go back in there.
Wow. So if you are friends with a ghost, go move into their haunted house, make a deal that they can stay, you will get them whatever items you need, and then set up your fucking meth lab there, because the cops are just going to be like, fuck it, not worth it. Which, by the way, probably a really good decision. I'm just saying, we always say nope the fuck out. I love that an entire task force was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
We're not Ghostbusters. We're getting the fuck out of here. Who are you going to call? Someone else.
I wish I had a photo because my mother told me this story. She told this story to my dad, and we all took a lovely family trip by this house one night after dinner to see it, just to pass by. It's a creepy old abandoned house next to the railroad tracks on an older side of town. And then the next story goes, when my mother was a young girl, she got...
When I was just a little girl.
You can keep going. What'd you ask your mother?
What will I be? Will I be pretty? Will I be ugly as fuck? Here's what she said to me. Probably.
Wow. Anyway.
Keeping it real.
She got a call from some of our family in Mexico saying her grandma had passed away. So my grandmother packed all the kids up and headed down to Mexico to bury her mom. My mother said in those days, the late 1950s in Mexico, they would have the viewing of the deceased in their own homes, and it would have to be rather quick to preserve the body. So my mother said that was pretty creepy in itself. But my mother says that while she was there, her and her brothers were warned not to go out at night. Her mother at the time told her sons not to go out in respect of why they were there. My mother says that they were drinking there, which was normal, and that one of her brothers started getting drunk and decided to leave. So he left and saw some girls on the street who started to wave him over.
Oh, shit.
They were trying to call him over. She said he started to walk closer to them and try and make a pass at them, and that's when he realized in the dim street lighting that the woman didn't have legs.
That's fucked up.
They were floating. He freaked out and ran home and told his mother. My mother, as a young girl, was listening in horror, but she said he looked frightened and looked as if he sobered up real quick. I had chills.
I know some people who'd be like, I've done worse.
What the hell?
Floating, no legs, whatever. Depends on how drunk they were. I will say that. I'm not going to name names, and I want to so fucking bad right now, but I won't.
Both my parents have mentioned seeing people with red eyes during different periods of their lives. I don't know what that's about, but maybe that could be a research topic. I will have to get detailed stories, but both have experienced young children seeing deceased family members. My older sister has seen a lot of freaky stuff too, in dreams and in person. She's always been one with a gift to see things. I will get these stories to you eventually. Can't wait, because this story was really cool.
They might already be in our inbox. We don't know. There's lots in there.
Yeah. There are a few stories I have about me that my mother has told me, but I don't personally remember. But I'll make sure to get them to you. That's all I have for now, Crystal.
Thank you, Crystal.
Yeah, thank you so much. Those are really creepy.
Yeah, there's a lot there, but there's a lot of really good ones there. There actually wasn't any bad ones in that entire bunch, which doesn't always happen for us. So thank you so much for sending that in. We appreciate that. Yeah. It was really good. I love the task force that's like, you know what? Fuck this shit.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'm supposed to arrest people and like human drugs. Like, I'm not going to find any sage in this goddamn place with all these haunted ghosts. I'm out of here.
Hire them to be not afraid of no ghosts.
They ain't afraid of no ghosts?
Yeah.
They have to get paid more to not be afraid of ghosts. So, right on. I'm going to go ahead and move into my last one of the night. And the subject for this one is homegrown horror, and it's a smiley face. But the emoji is a pumpkin with razor-sharp teeth smiley face, which I really like. So that's pretty cool.
That's kind of cool.
And
I didn't know that was an option.
I didn't either. I don't know where to find that. My phone probably doesn't do that. But this one starts out like this. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hello. My name is Jenny, and I live in Denver, Colorado. First, I would like to say I love your podcast. I always listen as soon as it's out to get me through some of my workday. I'm very happy to know that so many of you listen at work, because I only listen to the ones at work that I really enjoy, because it, makes me forget about how much I hated my job.
I like listening to audiobooks at work.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
Audible.
Interesting. Audible's pretty fucking tight.
Yeah, you guys should sponsor us.
No shit, man. You sponsor everyone else, Audible. God, I saw a dumpster and it had an Audible sticker on the side of it, and I was like, I bet you they sponsor that dumpster. They sponsor everything.
I am Kindle Unlimited addicted right now. Kindle,
she reads so much shit right now.
Kindle Unlimited is the greatest invention of all time.
You know what? Zuckerberg owes us some money because we always talk about going Facebook Live. Amazon owes us some fucking money. We are owed some money from some people that will never pay up unless they actually sponsor us, which would be super cool. I'm going to get back to this email because I'm only 2 sentences in. This is a long one. I'm always sad when it's over and I have to wait for a new one. By the way, the Japan episode was creepy. I refuse to go downstairs before bed. Note to self, don't listen to Scary-ish before bed.
I still will not go into certain stalls of restrooms.
Really? Do you count them?
I don't go to the ones at the end. I hate going to the ones all the way at the end.
I don't mind it. I do count them, and then if someone's in it, I sneak under the door and pet their butt just to kind of freak them out a little bit.
Ew,
There's charges
brown
pending.
hand.
Don't brown hand?
Yeah, they're on the toilet in the men's restroom. Like, they're pooping.
It
You're
was
going
a
to get
joke.
brown
I asked
hand.
them if they want blue or red toilet paper, and then I shred them to pieces.
Oh.
Because that's what you're supposed to do.
I thought you were going to actually, like, pet their butt.
No. I'm going to keep going. I like to share 2 stories that happened to me. One is creepy, and one is sad/feel good. I'll start. /feel good reminds me of the entire point of the movie Inside Out. It's Inside Out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun movie. I like that.
I cried.
Did you cry?
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. She can cry. It's fun stuff.
I cry too much. Last night, my dad was telling everyone, like, just talk to her a little bit mean. She'll start crying. She starts crying like this.
That's fucked up. That's really fucked up.
I was like, thanks, Dad.
Okay, I'm going to get back to this email. I'll start with my creepy story and end with my happy story. Here it goes. Me and my mom went to Glenwood Springs, Colorado to get away for a week on vacation. We both love things creepy and spooky, so we have stayed in a few haunted houses and we go on ghost tours when we get the chance. This time we had decided to stay in the Hotel Colorado. Never heard of this place.
No.
I've heard of the song Hotel California. Maybe it's similar. The place was built in 1893. It has quite the history and is known for being quite haunted. In parentheses, it could make a good episode for your topics.
Cool.
Good to know. Anyways, one night we were ending the day, relaxing, watching TV and such. My mom fell asleep, so it was just me left still awake. I decided to go get ready for bed, and as I did, I felt as if someone was watching me, but it was late and I couldn't see anyone or anything. Brushing it off as me just imagining things, I got into bed and closed my eyes. A few minutes later, I got a weird feeling and goosebumps started on the back of my neck, and I decided to be brave and peek around to see if there was anything. I get this feeling a lot. When I'm in bed and I wake up for whatever reason, someone scratched the shit out of me with their raptor claw toes last night, and I woke up like, ow!
I woke up too.
Raptor toes! And I couldn't go back to sleep after that. And I'm always like, you should look out the door and see if anything's there just to make sure you feel safe. But I know if I look out the door and I see anything in the shape of a person, I'm going to be like, fuck, it's a demon, turn on all the lights. And that's just too much work. So I just go back to sleep. And it's worked for me. I haven't been murdered in my sleep by anything yet. So
Yet.
Exactly.
I'll murder you later.
So this person gets brave, decides to peek around. When I looked at the bottom of my bed, there was this misty stuff hovering in one spot about the size of a person.
What the hell?
Then just like that, it was gone. Freaking out, I quickly pulled the covers over my head and closed my eyes, hoping this would make it go away. In parentheses, I don't know how this could help, but when you start freaking out, you think anything will help. When I looked out again, nothing was there. Later, after our trip, I decided to do some research on the hotel out of curiosity.
Man. Okay.
When I started reading about all the different ghosts there, I got goosebumps again when I found that there have been sightings by other people of a lady that likes to watch people sleep.
What is
so
it with
creepy.
creepers?
Why would you want to spend your afterlife watching people sleep? That's a really good question.
Maybe if you can't sleep anymore, you watch people sleep to kind of get that feeling, where you watch people eat so you can kind of feel like you can eat.
When you said that, it reminded me of a movie that I haven't thought about in years. Have you ever seen the movie The Frighteners with Michael J. Fox?
No.
It is so good. It is excellent. It's from the 90s. There's a lot of decent actors in it, including Michael J. Fox, who's amazing. He can see spirits, and he makes deals with spirits to fucking con people out of money.
Is that the one where they carve the numbers into their...
Yes, that's the one.
I love that movie.
It's a really good movie. But one of his sidekicks that's a ghost is like, you've been promising me a box of cigars for decades. And he's like, I'd hate to break it to you, bro, but you're dead. You can't smoke cigars. He's like, you can light them up and blow the smoke in my face. I love that part. And I get what you're saying with like, you want to see someone else enjoying what you can't have anymore. I think that would also breed like contempt.
In Pirates, Barbossa is like, here, eat all this food. I can't eat the food, but I'm going to watch you eat the food.
He wants to eat apples more than anything, too. Which is funny because when he comes back at the end of Pirates 2, he's eating a fucking apple and he actually bites into it. So I don't know if you know that. I don't know if any of you noticed that. You Pirates aficionados. We're talking about Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't know why the fuck we're doing that. This has been the movie podcast side story. Okay, we're going to go on to the next story in this email. And it starts out like this. So this one happened a week before Easter this year. We had gone over to my grandma and grandpa's house to get some stuff for my grandma because my mom was hosting Easter this year. My mom and grandma went into the front yard to look at some of the garden, and I followed. After a few minutes, my mom said, okay, say goodbye, we have to go now. So I said goodbye to my grandma, but then stopped and looked inside the house. My grandpa was inside reading the paper, and normally I would just wave at him and say bye, but something this time told me to go inside and hug him and say that you love him, tell him goodbye. Oh, man, this is going to get sad.
This is so sad.
A week later, on Easter morning, my grandpa had a stroke and was rushed to the hospital.
No.
It was a long, stressful day. The next day, I still had to go to work, but my mind wasn't there, so my boss said I could leave early.
That's very nice of them.
It is really nice. A lot of places won't do that for you. I started to head out to the hospital when my mom called me and told me my grandpa had passed away. When I got to the hospital, I got to say goodbye to him, even though he wasn't there anymore. I don't know who or what told me to go back into the house that day the week before, but I'll forever be grateful that I did, and I got to say a true goodbye to my grandpa.
That's really, really, really sweet.
It is. Sometimes you have those instincts and just, like, go with it. Just totally go with it. Don't feel like you're stupid for having it. Like, just trust it, and it's just like there's nothing wrong with that at all. So sometimes I just randomly hug people, and I'm just like, bye. Just in case you die, just to make things awkward one last time. Every time before I fly, I tell people, like, this is what I want to have happen if my fucking plane crashes. Because if you say it all the time, it won't happen. And then if it does, like, I always tell people, like, I really want you to punch so-and-so in the face and do it at my funeral. So my funeral is just going to be a fucking brawl. Because I just assign, like, targets for everyone to get punched in the face.
If you start shit at your funeral, I'm going to be so pissed.
What do you mean if I start shit? It's my funeral.
Yeah, and I'll be there organizing it.
You hope.
Oh, man, what if we die at the same time?
I was going to say, if it's a plane crash, we're probably both going to die. I don't fly alone that
unless
often.
we survive. Like, one seat gets sucked out and the other one doesn't.
You wind up on the back of the island and I wind up on the front. It's a Lost reference.
Oh.
Yeah, didn't watch it, did you?
No.
Yeah, I'm not going to ruin it for you.
All I know is Ian Somerhalder's in it.
Who?
The guy from Vampire Diaries.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I don't think he lasts very long.
Oh,
There's a lot of people on that show. I don't want to ruin it for you, but your first instinct is probably correct, and the producer spent years lying to people. It's purgatory. Everyone fucking knew that from the first episode. Just FYI. All right. Gonna finish this email up. Anyway, I'm very glad I finally got up the courage to finally write this to you guys. It's been very therapeutic to tell someone besides my best friend. Keep up the great work.
That's really awesome.
It is awesome. And that's why I try and tell people, like, don't be cynical, be skeptical, because you want people to be able to tell you something. And then you'll realize even the fantastical things you hear that you'd normally roll your eyes at if you heard secondhand, when you see someone tell you a story or hear someone's firsthand account of something that happened to them, you can tell if they're making shit up. Everyone's been around someone who just lies out their ass or just makes up a story.
Yeah, I know you.
I fucking hate you. When someone tells you a story that seems unreal and you can see that they're genuinely scared, it's fucking scary. It really is, because you're like, something fucking happened to this person. Whether or not it's what they think it was, it's a different experience than rolling your eyes and just saying, like, oh, I don't believe this. Wow. Shout out to Moist Kleenex Tissue, who has followed us on Twitch. That's the best Twitch name we've had so far, I think. And also, gross.
Yeah, Adam hates when I hand him my moist Kleenex.
She doesn't throw anything in a fucking trash. Any trash she has, it doesn't matter where the garbage is, she just hands it to me and is like, throw that away for me. And it's so disgusting. Sometimes it's tissues, sometimes it's worse. I'm just saying, like, don't do that, people. It's a bad habit. I'm going to finish this email off, I swear to God. It's been very therapeutic. Keep up the great work. I love every minute of every podcast, even every Doctor Who, Buffy, Supernatural, anime, and movie rant. I also attached some pictures of my Omen babies. The hedgehog is Mushu, like Mulan. The golden retriever is Ike, like South Park. The big colorful bird is Duncan Yo-Yo. The blue parakeet is Happy, in parentheses, like Fairy Tale. And the white parakeet is Whitey. She's my little albino girl with red eyes like a little demon. Keep on creeping on, Jenny. Thank you so much. That was really, really good. I enjoyed both of those. And thank you for the pictures of your Omen babies. We really appreciate that.
So I'm going to go into my next email now.
Cool. I am excited. This is the last one of the night.
It goes, Dear Raven and Adam. Hello there.
Hello, dear.
My name is Diana, and I'm writing to you from San Diego. I've been listening to your podcast for the past few months and love it. I have a couple of horror/paranormal podcasts that I listen to, but Scarish is by far my favorite.
Yay!
Your style with the funny interjections and chemistry is what brings me back every week. I have a Scarish story to share with you, which may not be very paranormal, but scared the bejesus out of me. I would love it if you'd read it on one of your homegrown horror story episodes.
Here it is.
Here it is.
We hope you're still listening and you get excited when you hear this.
So this first part is about where I lived to help give an idea of the setting. At the time, I was living alone in a small granny flat. What's a granny flat?
I have no idea.
Do any of you guys know? Is it a South? No. They're from San Diego. What's someone explain a granny flat to us?
I've heard of in-law suites before, which is where you like shelter off a room from your house and rent
Yeah.
it out for like $1,000 a month, but that's mainly like San Francisco. So maybe granny flat is similar to that because it's like just a single room that should have like everything in it.
So it had its own porch and yard on the far corner of the property of a large house.
I think I'm right. I think I'm
The
sounding right
house
here.
stood on the top of a hill. If you stood at the edge of the fence surrounding my granny flat and looked down, there was a 20-foot drop to another neighbor's property.
That's safe.
Sounds safe.
You can do an elbow drop from hell or heaven because it's above them.
Or what is that wrestling move where you like...
The elbow drop?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, you mean the people's elbow.
Yeah.
You don't get on the turnbuckle to do the people's elbow. You just do it. You got to bounce off the ropes twice and take your fucking armband off. There's a whole thing to it. Just Google The Rock people's elbow and you'll find out. If you want to see how to do a real good, like, high turnbuckle elbow, check out Macho Man Randy Savage. He was the best. I'm just saying, at least at the elbow drop.
All right. So although there were a lot of other houses around, the neighborhood was always very calm and quiet. So here's my story. I'd just gotten home from a night out. It was around 1 a.m. I
Nice.
was a bit tired, and although I had had a few drinks, was not at all drunk.
That's what a
Shout
drunk,
out.
That's what a drunk person would
No.
say.
No.
Yes.
I drank a little wine last night, and my family was like, oh my God, wait till she gets drunk. She's such a mess when she's drunk. I'm like, I've had 2 glasses of wine. I'm completely coherent. I can drive.
Po
I'm
Buddy's
fine.
perfect. Because you mix up the things.
Yeah, I get it. How long were you thinking that in your head? So
I was
you could
trying to
say
think
it
of the
right?
lyric from the fucking Panic at the Disco song, and I couldn't think of it. So I was like, go with the thing they say about pencils. Because pencils have erasers, because Po Buddy's perfect.
My bed was next to a large window facing my yard and away from the main house. From there, sitting up, I could see the open sky and the edge of my yard. It was dark outside except for a little moonlight. It hadn't been too long after I had laid down and turned off the lights that I heard a small voice from outside the house say, "Help me."
Fuck.
No.
That's creepy.
You
What
don't
are you-
go.
What are you supposed to do, though? Someone's
No.
asking for your help. What if it's like a kid and they're bleeding
You
in your
call
yard?
the cops.
It's like, they'll be here anytime. Yeah, that
Yeah, they'll be
works.
here in what, however long
Don't
it
bleed out
takes.
in fucking 90 minutes. I don't know. I haven't had to call the cops in a long time. Knock on wood. I hope I don't have to call the cops. For
I
a while.
opened my eyes and thought, oh crap, what did I just hear? I decided that I was dreaming and closed my eyes, ignoring it. A couple minutes go by and I hear the small voice say again, "Help me."
You know what this reminds me of? The original miniseries It from the 90s, because when the girl looks into the sink and has the blood come out or whatever,
Yeah.
she hears a voice say, "Help me," from the sink drain. And she hears it a couple of times before that happens. So that's the voice I'm hearing in my mind, and now I'm starting to have flashbacks, and that's not good, because that movie scared the fuck out of me.
I open my eyes super wide and think, what should I do? All I could hear was my heart pounding in my ears and complete silence from the outside. I decide I'm not going to get out of bed. I'm going to slightly raise my head and look out the window. I would not be that brave. I don't know how you could be brave enough to be like, I'm just going to look out there.
I like that you're committed to not helping, but you need to know whether or not someone's dying in your lawn.
I do just that and see nothing but my porch and the large tree on the edge of my yard and nothing else. I lay my head back down and think, okay, if someone's out there and really needs help, I should go out there and help them. But I also think, what if this person or thing is just trying to lure me out there to kill me? It's probably a vampire, can't get invited in, you're safe inside.
Stand at your doorframe and yell out, "What do you want?"
What do you want from me?
Yeah, just be Adam Lambert and just yell outside.
What should I do? Believe me, I'm fucking scared. I don't want to go out there. And as I'm mulling this over, I hear the voice a third time say in a small, creepy voice, "Help me."
I want to interject just to say this is written really well because I'm on edge. I want to know what the fuck happens here.
I then remember that my porch has a motion sensor light which comes on whenever anything or anyone even comes close to the yard and house. It hasn't been on since I got inside the house. I think, oh fuck that, if some spirit or creature from hell is trying to lure me outside to devour my soul, I'm not falling for it. So I decide to pretend I'm asleep and that I've not heard a thing, maybe it'll just go away. Then I hear, clear as a bell, the hooting of an owl. It's so close, I know it's up on the limb of that tree hooting down at me. The fear has now turned to relief, and I sit up, yell at the owl for scaring the crap out of me, and go to sleep. Oh my gosh.
So
I'd be even worse, more scared.
So you think the owl is talking to you? Can owls talk?
I don't know. I hope my story wasn't too long, and although not very paranormal, you enjoyed it. I love owls, even if they are assholes sometimes. But in all seriousness, to this day, I believe that owl was trying to warn me about something, or it was scaring something away.
That's where my head went too.
Keep on creeping on. Best wishes, Diana. P.S. Here's a picture of my omen baby, Hallow. Hallow?
Hallow. It has an A in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hallow. Like hallowed ground.
Hallow from the other side.
Wow. Wow. Just wow. That was really, really good.
It was a good
That's a
story.
great one to end on. I really, really like that one.
I could totally see the owl trying to either scare the crap out of you or scare something else away.
Yeah, it sees something else and it's warning you, like, don't go outside. Or maybe it's like, there's a dying person on your lawn. They need help. And it came out as like, hoo, hoo.
Hoo, 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 hoo.
I don't know which song you're trying to do.
From CSI.
Oh. Hoo, 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 hoo.
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah, I know. It just didn't sound, I don't know. Fudge you. How about that? Hate your face. Cool. That's the last thing that we have for the night. So we want to thank everyone who listened. If you want to send us your homegrown horror, your paranormal experiences, your spiritual experiences, you're funny. I thought this was paranormal, but it turned out to be completely innocuous, which are so good to get.
I love when it's like, I thought my room was haunted, but it's because the switches are connected and we're idiots.
That one was so good. Email storytime@scarish.com. You can also go to scarish.com, which is our website, and click contact us and fill out that form. On scarish.com, we have all of our social media, so you can go to our Discord server if you'd like. You can also go to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/scarishpodcast. You can message us there if you'd prefer. You can also join our group, which is the Scarish Spooky Friends group on Facebook. And you can post there for some instant feedback from the community. You can do that in Discord as well. You can also tweet at us at ScarishPod. And you can message us on Instagram at Scarish Podcast.
And if you can't remember all the names, just go to scarish.com and click on those social media links. It makes it a million times easier.
There's a link for everything. And I don't know if you guys know this, but scarish.com also has a listener on the side where you can scroll back through all the episodes. All the episodes are uploaded to the website. There's a million ways for you guys to access our content. And for those of you who are looking for a way to contribute but don't have anything financially to donate, we understand that. Please go over to iTunes and rate us and review us.
5 stars, please.
Helps us so much. It really does. The last time I checked it, we were at 110. I haven't checked it in a few days, but it's really nice to see stuff come in. We had a really nice review get posted recently.
Yeah, and seriously, those really touch us and make us really want to keep going and make us so happy to know that we can be a part of your lives. It's really cool.
If you guys listen to this and you're thinking like, I want to send them my story, but they won't get to it, or I want to message them, but they won't read it, we have literally seen everything that's come our way. When it comes to the emails, we don't read them until we're live on the air, but we will get to them. And when it comes to like our social media, we see all of it. So if you want to reach out to us, definitely do. Don't hesitate in thinking like they'll never see it. We really will. And I want to let you guys know that. So Robin, tell them if they want to donate to us financially and they're capable of doing so, how they can do that.
If you go to patreon.com/scarishpodcast, we do have monthly tiers ranging from $1 and up, and it all just helps support us, keep this podcast going, and allows us to kind of spend more time to do our research and stuff like that. And if you go to ko-fi.com/scarishpodcast, those donations there are one-time donations, and it'll help us upgrade our studio setup. We have a new camera.
Super excited because of the coffee donations, because of the live donations that we got. Shout out to J.B. Watt, who just subscribed to our channel on Prime, or through his Prime membership 2 months in a row, and he said 2 months anniversary.
Nice.
Because of the things you guys have donated to us, we've been able to go ahead and purchase a new camera. So it will not be a GoPro strapped to a tripod within the next couple weeks.
It'll be a camcorder strapped to a pipe.
It'll be actually mounted properly because it actually fits it. I'm just very, very excited that we actually get to start moving forward incrementally, step by step, in the things that we have, and hopefully bring you guys a better product. And yeah, we're going to get this camcorder in. It's definitely not top of the line, but it's a solid place to start. It's more than I thought we would be able to upgrade to, but your guys' donations have really, really helped out. Shout out to Connor. He's our top donor. We really appreciate everything you've sent our way.
Yeah.
It means so much to us that you guys are willing to invest into this thing, because we invest our time and as much money as we can, and it's nice to have little things come from you guys too. But if you can't, we totally 100% understand that. Times are tight and holidays are very expensive. So thank you to everyone who's given us literally anything at any point. And you know what? We love you guys so much for listening. So we gone through all the stuff, right?
Yeah.
Those are all the normal plugs. So I think we're about ready to wrap it up. So I think I'm going to let you go ahead and take care of this one.
Keep on creeping on, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.